This video will explain what vocational rehabilitation is and how VR can help deaf people plan for their future. VR provides many different kinds of services and can help deaf people during high school, college, work, or beyond. Deaf people have many different goals for the future. VR can help you achieve your goals. This video will help you understand more about VR services, how to get services, what to expect from the VR process, and what to do when you disagree with the services you are getting. VR can do many things to support you while you plan for your future, go to school, start working, or look for a job. Here are some examples. VR can help you get the right assessments or evaluations so you can get the services that fit your needs. VR can help you reach your goals with the right training. Training can be related to work or school. VR can provide support for tuition, books, tools, supplies, or tutoring. VR can help make sure that you can get to your training, college, or work. VR will help you figure out what transportation support you need, whether it be public transportation or money to cover gas. VR can help make sure you can get access to services, training, or work. VR will help you figure out what kind of accommodations you need: interpreting, speech-to-text services like CART, captioned phones, or screen readers. VR will help you figure out what kind of technology support you need for communication at school or at work and can provide you with these things. For example, hearing aids, flashing or vibrating alarm clocks, captioned telephones, and screen braille communicators. VR can help you look for a job and keep your job. VR can provide services like job coaching, resume development, job applications, and practice interviews. VR can help make sure that you have the right equipment and clothes to participate in training or do your job. This can include clothing, uniforms, equipment, dues, and certifications. VR can provide many different services. Your VR counselor will work with you to figure out what you need to meet your goals. Remember that even if your VR caseload is closed, you can contact VR again to help you keep your job or get a promotion. Generally, there are two ways to get services: General VR Services and Pre-Employment Transition Services, or Pre-ETS. To receive these services, you must meet 3 criteria. You must be willing to work, have at least one disability, and can benefit from VR services for preparing to get and keep a job. We will discuss different processes for both categories. For Pre-ETS, you must be age 14 to 21, depending on the state. For General VR, you can receive services if you are high school age or older. For both categories, you must be a person with a disability. For Pre-ETS, you need to be a student either in high school or college. For General VR services, you need to be a person who can benefit from services to support job goals. Both categories require documentation to show proof that you have a disability. For Pre-ETS, it could be school-related, like an IEP or Section 504. For General services, you can use SSI or SSDI. While it's not required, it can help speed up the process. If you don't have documentation, VR can help you get the right paperwork you need. What is Pre-ETS? The government wants to make sure that disabled students can get support and services to be ready for life after high school through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA. Part of this act requires that VR provide support to disabled students who are still in high school to reach their education and employment goals through 5 services. Job exploration. Find out how your interests, passions, and abilities may be a good match for some jobs. Work-based learning. Get real-life experience on the job to learn and apply workplace skills like internships and co-op programs. Postsecondary counseling. Plan and work towards a career goal through college, vocational training, or other training programs with support from VR. Workplace readiness training. VR will help you gain skills in communicating, working with others, problem solving, and practicing professionalism. Instruction and self-advocacy. Learn how to communicate about your needs and how to ask for accommodations at college, training programs, or work. As a tip, be sure to have your family, teachers, IEP team, and VR counselor work together to be on the same page. VR counselors can go to IEP meetings to help support your needs and goals. Your family should be involved in this process to help you too. When you work with your VR counselor about your future plan, be open and honest. What are your strengths and challenges? VR can give better services when they know more about your skills and strengths, and also the challenges that you might have in school, work, and in the community. VR can help by providing assessments and evaluations for you to learn more about your strengths and challenges. These tests can help you find what kind of careers may be a good fit for you and help VR give you the right services for what you need to succeed. Remember that VR is here for you. Federal law requires VR programs to respect individual values and choices while providing VR services. This is called individualized services. Some tips will help the VR process be more successful for you. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian will need to go to meetings with you and sign paperwork. Make sure you understand all of the paperwork. If you need help, ask your VR counselor to explain. You might see some forms during the application process. Application forms will ask for your personal information to help VR open your case and communicate with you. Consent to release information will ask for your permission to share personal medical and non-medical information between VR and other programs to help understand your needs and provide services. For example, your IEP team at school may share information about the accommodations you use and your goals for the future. Student Services Plans or Individualized Plan for Employment or IPE. These forms are signed agreements and have information such as a plan start and end date, specific steps and responsibilities for continuing to receive VR services, VR counselor responsibilities, and specific services that may be provided to you. The VR process is more smooth when you stay in touch with your VR counselor, reply to emails, and be on time for your appointments. Patience is key. VR is not an emergency program. It takes time to make sure you are eligible for VR services. However, it can make things smoother on all ends if you are prepared and have everything ready beforehand. Sometimes when you apply for VR or get VR services, some challenges or disagreements may happen. For example, VR tells you that you don't qualify to get VR services. They put you on a waiting list. They let you know that you can't get specific services or money for those services. No VR plan is being developed due to disagreements about goals. VR is not helping you find a job. Your VR counselor is not returning calls or communicating with you. You can resolve these conflicts many different ways. First, talk directly with your VR counselor. If that does not work, meet with different people and work your way up. You should ask to talk with these people in this order: the direct manager of the VR counselor you are working with, the administrator who is in charge of the VR manager and counselor, then State VR's central office. If the issue is not resolved, you can contact your state's Client Assistance Program for free assistance. CAP can help you understand your rights and how to pursue appeals to make sure you and the VR come to an agreement. Every state VR agency has policies and procedures to review disagreements or when services are denied. Your VR agency should provide you with information on your rights and remedies. You should also review your state VR policy manual, usually found on the state VR website, for specific appeals information and procedures. Remember, VR is here to help you reach your goals. We have a checklist available for you to download. You can use this checklist to help you work with your VR counselor. If you watch this video and still have questions, talk with your VR counselor or contact the National Deaf Center for help.